Hey Pioneers, I'm Anna Wilming.
And I'm Taylor Stewart, and this is your National News Show. Today we'll be diving into the recent shooting in Kansas.
The 84-year-old white man, Andrew Lester, accused of shooting a black teenager, Ralph Yarl, who rang his doorbell in Kansas City, has turned himself in to face criminal charges. Lester faces 2 felony charges due to the shooting, assault in the first degree and armed criminal action, in connection with the April 13th shooting. Ralph, who is 16 years old, was shot in the head and arm after going to the wrong address to pick up his siblings. He has been released from the hospital but faces a challenging road to recovery.
Lester has told police that he and Ralph did not exchange words before he fired at him through a locked glass door, according to the probable cause document obtained by CNN. Questions have been raised about why Lester was initially detained but released a few hours after the shooting. Kansas City Mayor Quinton Lucas has expressed concern and outrage over the situation.
The shooting has sparked protests in Kansas City, with demonstrators calling for justice for Ralph and for Lester to be held accountable. The incident has also brought back memories of other cases involving young black men, such as Trayvon Martin and Ahmaud Arbery, who were shot by assailants claiming self-defense.
Attorney Ben Crump, who is representing Ralph, questioned why Lester was not detained longer and pointed out the racial dynamics of the case, highlighting the potential disparity in the treatment if the roles were reversed. Mayor Lucas acknowledged the efforts of the police, including white officers, in helping file charges against Lester, but also recognized the role of race in the situation and stated that ignoring it would be avoiding reality.
Here in Ohio, lawmakers are constricting on the action of drivers through new laws getting passed in the state. Here is Brendan with information on the newly passed distracted driving law.
Hey Pioneers, today we're going to be looking at a new driving law in Ohio.
A new law was recently put into place in Ohio, where police officers have the right to pull people over for using a cell phone even without committing another traffic violation. The law was put into place to help reduce distracted driving accidents after over 10,000 crashes were reported last year in Ohio. Police officers will not write tickets for another 6 months. However, people will still be pulled over and warned. The penalty for a first offense is 2 points on your driver's license and up to a $150 fine. The penalty after a second time is 3 points and up to $250 fine. Any more offenses will be 4 points, a $500 fine, and potentially a 90-day license suspension. Some exceptions are reporting an emergency, holding your phone to your ear while on a call, or using it while stopped at a traffic light. You are also allowed to use a navigation or GPS system while driving. However, it must be set up before you drive. This new law will help reduce crashes and save lives.
That's all for today. Back to the desk.
Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich on Tuesday was denied an appeal to change the terms of his detention on espionage charges at a court hearing in Moscow. The U.S. citizen was arrested in Russia last month in a sign of the Kremlin's crackdown on foreign media news outlets since it's invaded Ukraine last year. Gershkovich is currently being held in a pretrial detention center at the notorious Lefortovage prison until May 29th. He faces up to 20 years in prison on espionage charges.
As House Republicans work to unveil a debt ceiling proposal tied to long-coveted spending cuts from conservatives, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is privately urging his fellow Republicans to unite behind the plan. The plan, which is expected to get a vote on the House floor in the coming weeks, will allow the U.S. to continue paying its obligations into 2024 and include numerous spending cuts. It could serve as a starting point for negotiations between House Republicans and President Joe Biden, who has refused any budgetary discussions with GOP lawmakers until they provide spending specifics.
Now let's throw it over to our investigative journalists for some more national news briefs.
Good morning, Pioneers. My name is Gabe Sproul. I'm going to be talking about some more news from around our country. On Monday, April 10th, 5 people were killed in a shooting at an Old National Bank branch in downtown Louisville, Kentucky. At least 8 others were injured, and the gunman was killed by police. The gunman, Connor Sturgeon, was an ex-employee for the bank who used an assault rifle and live streamed it to Instagram. The video has been taken down since. A drug that treats prostate cancer, Pluvicto, is now experiencing supply issues, and the manufacturer, Novartis, says that there will now be an increased waitlist for the drug. Other drugs used to treat a broad range of cancers are also experiencing a shortage. This problem is caused by lack of investment from manufacturers, as these are generic drugs that don't generate much profit. Across America, maternity wards have been closing down in hospitals, creating problems for people that only have one hospital in their area. One reason for this is money. Most births are paid for by Medicaid, which has low reimbursement rates and do not net the hospitals as much money. That's all for today, Pioneers. Back to the news desk.
Now let's get into some pop culture news. Frank Ocean's highly anticipated headlining set at Coachella was not live-streamed Monday. The set was still scheduled to take place as planned at the time of publishing, but was pulled from Coachella's YouTube streaming schedule. This means only those in attendance at Coachella were able to watch Ocean's performance. YouTube has since confirmed the news, writing on Twitter, quote, "Frank Ocean is not scheduled to appear on the Coachella livestream," end quote.
Netflix has apologized for the live Love is Blind reunion was delayed and pre-recorded, with UK viewers still waiting to see it. The dating show, which sees couples getting engaged before they meet, was due to stream live globally at 1 BST on April 17th. After delays lasting 90 minutes, the live stream was canceled and the reunion was filmed instead.
Ahmad Jamal, a pianist, composer, and arranger whose innovative chamber jazz style had a powerful impact on his contemporaries while gaining widespread popularity via such recordings as his best-selling interpretation of Poinciana, has died, according to the New York Times. He was 92. Jamal died Sunday of prostate cancer at his home in Ashley Falls, Massachusetts. His daughter, Samaya Jamal, confirmed to the New York Times.
Universal/Illuminations, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, was held strong in weekend number 2, grossing a whopping $87 million at the domestic box office and besting even the loftiest projections for this week's box office results. Per Deadline, the number marks the best second weekend ever for an animated film, topping the previous record holder Frozen 2, which was $85.9 million.
Katy Perry experienced a first during Monday's episode of American Idol. The 38-year-old judge was audibly booed during the audience during her critique of performer Nutsa. When Perry gave her suggestion, the crowd booed. And fellow judge Lionel Richie replied, quote, "Whoa, hostility," end quote. Luke Bryan was delighted in the moment, saying, quote, "Yes, Katy got booed, end quote. Well, that's all we have for you today, Pioneers. Thank you for watching. Any stories you would like to hear more about, please message The Juice on Instagram or TikTok at OOHS Juice. For The Juice, I'm Anna Wilming.
And I'm Taylor Stewart. Thanks for tuning into your national news show, and we'll see you next week.